There are challenges as a result of the compromises that had to be made. And, Mr. President, these discussions will continue now to the 2012 budget. We're already seeing that happen. In the House, they're already starting to act on what is known as the Ryan budget, which we think is pretty much inspired by the Tea Party. It's pretty extreme. It's pretty radical. It's not a credible plan, in my view. It's not a credible plan to reduce the federal deficit. But why do I say that? Well, the Ryan budget concentrates on domestic spending. It doesn't touch military spending and doesn't touch our revenues. Let me correct that. It does deal with our revenues, but it deals with it in the wrong way. It not only extends every tax break that's currently available, providing tax relief for millionaires, but it provides additional tax relief. It lowers the highest rates. Now, how's that going to be paid for? Well, they're expecting they're going to take more out of middle-income families. That's bad for middle-income families. But my guess is they're not even going to be able to reach those targets, and we're going to have huge deficits as far as the eye can see. It's not a credible plan. The Debt Commission taught us that if you're going to have a credible plan to deal with the deficit, you've got to deal with domestic spending, you've got to deal with military spending, you've got to deal with mandatory spending, and you have to deal with revenues. You've got to deal with all of them. The Ryan budget does not. It's going to be hard for middle-income families. It protects America's wealthiest, and it attacks our seniors. Attacks our seniors. The Ryan budget would turn Medicare into a voucher program. Now, I can tell you what that means in dollars and cents. It means that our seniors who currently have the largest out-of-pocket costs for health care than any other age group of Americans will see their health care costs go up dramatically, double. Some of us remember how it was for seniors to get health care before we had Medicare. They had to fight with private insurance companies. Private insurance companies are not interested in insuring people who make a lot of claims. Guess what? As you get older, you make a lot of claims. What the Republican budget would do is tell our seniors, we're going to give you a voucher. Now you go, and it's a limited amount of money. Now you go find a private insurance plan out there. And whatever it costs, you're going to have to pay up the difference. And we know it's going to cost a lot more than the voucher we're giving you. That's what they're doing. They're making it more expensive for our seniors to afford health care, where they are asking us to reduce their costs, not make it more expensive. But then the Ryan budget goes further by block granting the Medicaid program. That means, quite frankly, the Medicaid program will not survive. And we could talk about the hardships it will have on providing health care in our community, how it's going to have more and more people use the emergency rooms rather than using their preventive care or seeing doctors. That's all going to be absolutely happen if we ever were to block grant the Medicaid program. But let me just follow up on our seniors. Many of our seniors depend upon the Medicaid system, and their families depend upon it for long-term care, nursing care. That's not going to survive if we block grant that to our states. So the Ryan budget not only is incredible as it relates to dealing with the deficit, it also is very punitive against our seniors. But what I find probably the most disappointing part is where I started this discussion, by saying our budget is our vision for our future. It speaks to our priorities for our future. The Ryan budget leaves our children behind. If we're going to be able to succeed, we've got to take care of our children. They're our future. We've got to deal with their education. We've got to deal with their health care. The Ryan budget puts them at severe jeopardy. It's a philosophical document that I don't think represents the values of America. I think our values are in our children and our future and in our ability to meet those economic challenges. I think there is a better way. President Obama is calling for a comprehensive pro-growth economic strategy that will invest in winning the future. I would hope all of us could embrace that. Don't we want a comprehensive pro-growth economic strategy that invests in winning the future, invests in our children, invests in education, invests in innovation? As President Obama says, he wants to meet our values for dignity of our retirees. Think about that for one moment. How we treat our retirees speak to what we are as a nation, the dignity of our retirees. Think about a retiree trying to find an insurance company that will take care of their insurance needs because we dumped the Medicare system. We can't let that happen. We can't let that happen. There is a better way. 64 of us in the Senate have said there is a better way. We have said, look, it's time for us to be serious about a credible plan for our deficit. And we are prepared, 64 of us, 32 Democrats, 32 Republicans have said we are prepared to not only cut our domestic spending, we'll look at bringing down mandatory spending, and we'll look at military, and we'll look at revenues. There's a better way to do this. I think we can represent the best of America's future in our budget by providing education, innovation, job growth, health and environment, policies that make sense, and we can do it with fiscal responsibility. That's our mission. So I know a lot of my colleagues come down here and say, we've got to take care of the deficit, do the deficit. I agree with that. But remember, our budget document is our statement about America's future. It's our policy document. And America needs to stand up for quality education, for the best health care in the world, for encouraging innovation that will give us the jobs of the future so that America can continue to lead the world. I think America deserves nothing less, and I intend to continue to fight for that type of vision for America.